If you know me at all, you know that I love a good orc romance. And that is what we're going to be talking about today with Saam King, who writes really fun, adventurous, and very diverse orc romances. In this episode, we talk about everything from why it's important to have diversity and inclusion in romances, as well as some really fun tropes that she likes to put into her stories. Listener discretion is advised. This podcast contains mature content intended for adult audiences only. Hello, Sam. I'm so excited to have you on the podcast. So if you could start by telling everyone a bit about how you got into writing.
Of course, I'm so excited to be here. And so my journey started as I think a lot of indie authors during COVID because I suddenly had a bunch of free time on my hand. And I'm like, you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish that book that I started years and years and years ago that I never really got enough time to sit down and do. And so I did. And that's kind of really when I fell in love with it. I fell in love with indie publishing. I fell in love with the freedom of writing what I wanted to write because my stories tend to be what I want to read.
Yeah.
I write like all the orc stories because I'm just like, if I could find myself an orc, like if it could possibly ever happen. I'm like, that's honestly how the Kingverse series started. It was like, why couldn't there be a world where we just grew up with these monsters and they were just regular people and it's just your type. You decide, I want an orc. I'm going to go stalk an orc and find myself a boyfriend. And that's how, because my name is Saam King, I was like, you know what? I'm going to make a universe where I can have this as a possibility for me, not for anybody else, for me. And so that's kind of how it started. And then the Kingverse Orc series was born. So yeah, that's pretty much how my journey started.
Oh, that is so much fun. I love that you write what you want to read. And we've had a few authors mention that. And so now I'm curious, the people that have said they write what they want to read, it's kind of a mixed bag of either they reread their books as comfort reads, or nope, once it's out into the universe, I don't look at it again. Which one do you kind of like that second one?
I'm on that side. I'll be honest with you, like some of my earlier books, I'm just like so cringe. I'm like, how did I do this? How did I write this? How do people read this? But and yet there are comfort reads that I do have from other authors, other indie authors that I can listen to over and over and over, read over and over and over. And I'm just like, maybe you should do this to yourself. Fangirl about yourself. I'm just incapable. I'm incapable.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I get it. I have hundreds of podcast episodes that I've done with my voice and just listening to myself back. I'm like, oh, God, shut up. Why were you saying that? And even when I go back and edit it, there was a solo episode I did recently, and I cut this out. So y'all are getting a little sneak peek about what I cut out from my solo episode. But I was like, yeah, those one-handed reads that I don't put on my story graph are usually lactation reads. Y'all don't need to know that. Never mind. So now you guys know.
I love that.
I love it. And I asked my husband one time, maybe I'll keep this in, maybe I won't. But I was like, was that a turd? When I was breastfeeding our kids, were you into that at all? And he was like, no. Are you?
No.
Not to judge. And I was like, no.
Never.
Oh. What?
What are you talking about? I was just asking
weird.
because of something I talked to somebody about.
Yeah.
The stranger on the internet,
you
not
know?
me.
And that's how it started. Was I saw someone who was talking about a book they read, and I was like, oh, wait a minute. Am I into that? It's like the kombucha girl. Yeah, that was me. The lactation kink. But y'all won't find that on my story graph because not everybody needs to know. Only special few listeners.
Not everybody.
But yes. So I love the having those things that you can read over and over again. And you've mentioned indie a few times. And I do tend to interview indie authors because I feel like there's just so much more freedom
That's it.
to the stories and like what they can write. And we had Jade Hernandez on a couple episodes ago, and she was talking about how her first book that she got traditionally published, they completely whitewashed her character, and like it was an Afro Latina and it was based off of her best friend, and they like just whitewashed it. And she was like, that is so devastating to have to experience that. And so, especially as people of color, like it is so important that we see ourselves reflected and not whitewashed in these
Yeah.
stories. And so when I saw brown curvy women getting loved down by orcs, I was like, where have you been my whole life?
I love it. But that's pretty much it though, because I was like, I love orc books. Like I've always read like orc books. I started Monster Romance with like Cresley Cole and all of that. But like when you read these books, you don't see yourself in these characters. Like I've
Right.
never seen myself in these characters. I'm just like, yes, of course, the cute, hot white chick, the super skinny one that's on every Vogue cover ever
Yep.
has hooked up with the demon slash orc slash, you know what I mean? And like they always ended up being the FMCs. And I'm like, it's like Thanos. It's like, ah, I'll just do it myself.
Right.
It's fine.
Exactly.
Because like even I am obsessed with Finley Fen. Like Finley Fen, OG, like introduced me to a different side of orcs that I was just like, oh, clutch pearls. And then I was like, but wait, I like it. You know? Where I mean, I'm definitely more rom-com than she is, like by far. I could not write what she wrote. But at the same time, you have to be like, oh, but then even then, like the FMCs are still pretty typical for the genre. And traditional publishing, if you look across the board, it's pretty much steady, just you don't see yourself in those characters.
No.
It's a typical FMC that you always read all the time. And until we get enough representation, honestly, in traditional publishing, I barely read it. And also, I support indie because I am indie.
Right.
So,
Love it. You mentioned that you wanted to kind of create this world where there's all of these different characters. And I just finished the fourth book in the series. And I gotta say that's something that I did love about it, that it wasn't like, oh my gosh, there's an orc over there. Like it was like, oh, there's a super hot orc that works in the building that I'm cleaning, right? Or like, hey, these orcs work this security company and they're all in suits. Yes. So when you were kind of coming up with this universe, what were some things that you were like, maybe I want some of this and I want some of this and let's throw in a dash of that? What was kind of that world building for you?
the basics of the world building for me was every monster that has ever existed in the history of every monster needs to exist in this world. So you will even find, like, if you just read Zara's book, you see Papa Bois, which I'm originally from Trinidad. So that's something that really only is in the Caribbean. And he doesn't really exist anywhere else. You might see him like a satyr or something, like, depending on which character you're looking at, like it'll be closer to that. But I was like, no, I'm gonna pull something out of the bottom of the barrel and then nobody knows about. I'm gonna put him in my book. So I'm like, every monster that ever existed will exist in my world. And they're all going to be open to sleeping with my girls because why not? And then at that point, it was like, okay, so if I want this, all of them exist. Now, I definitely have to have magic. The FMCs should also be humanoid because at the end of the day, each one of the FMC is me in
Right.
my head with their orcs. So, like, they have to be humanoid. It will be curvy POC, like 100% of the time. And like every girl who has ever wanted an orc boyfriend who looks like me will get an orc boyfriend.
Yes.
And I'm sticking with that for now just because I have not finished itching my orc itch. Like they're still there. The stories are still in my head. I'm coming up with these things and so I'm going to write them. But I also have room to write other characters. And I just wanted this big, beautiful world where racism isn't a thing. Like nobody hates on anybody. There might be some cultural differences. And so they might live in different communities because orcs are clan like. humans tend to stick together because that's just how it is, but it doesn't mean that there's ever an issue with intermarriage the way that you see in the real world. I was like,
Right.
no, everybody loves everybody and everybody can love everybody. Everybody has a happily ever after. That's kind of pretty much. And then as I go, because I am a chaos demon,
Love it.
as I go, I add in extras and I add in things that should have been there from the beginning, but I'm like, I'm gonna put it in now.
Yeah, so I like thinking back to the first book you had like where he like went home with her to like meet like see her parents and they were just like hello. The mom was like, "Hey." For a second, it's like, Mom, gosh, stop it. She's like, I see what you're working with. I just love that. And I want to say a lot of the like bad guys tend to be humans, right?
I find it okay. This is something that my ballerina cat, she says it all the time. She's like, he's human. This one's human. And I'm like, how can I make my monsters into the bad guys? I love them too much. It's just impossible. They're gonna have to be human. Like, there's no other way. But I do throw some in later on in the other books
Okay.
because of feedback. I didn't want to do it. I'll just let you know right now. I didn't want to.
Yeah, like so in book 4, the ex-husband, I think him as a white guy. Like in my head, he's a white guy. He's the bad white guy.
He's the bad way, dude.
Like, that's what I imagine it as. You can't tell me otherwise. He will be the
Yeah, I
bad
know.
white guy
Yeah.
in my
David
head.
is a typical like Chad. Okay.
Exactly. And then you mentioned a little bit about how, like, yes, Finley Fenn has like that more dark. My husband likes to call him medieval. He calls like this is so funny.
I love it.
He calls Game of Thrones medieval times. And I'm like, my poor autistic brain cannot handle it. I'm like, honey, it is high fantasy. It is a completely different world. Like, think Lord of the Rings, like, completely different world. And he's like, yeah, but like, that's medieval kind of too. And I'm like, I'm going to drop kick you. Love you to pieces. But just stop talking. You're hurting my brain.
Don't say any more of the words. Don't say any more words.
Exactly. But hers is like that very dark elements to it. Little bits of progressive tools and like ink press and like that kind of stuff, right? Because I've read all of those as well. Totally get it.
Of course we have. Come
As
on.
one does.
As one does.
But what I love about yours is the lightheartedness and like the moments of like kicking my feet and being like, right?
Aw.
Like that's just like how your books make me feel. And so when you're like, one, are you funny in real life? I mean, I feel like you are,
No.
but
No, not at all.
how do you like bring these characters together in more lighthearted kind of ways where they have been, especially historically in romance novels, depicted as more dark or gruesome or like the uncivilized?
The uncivilized. And that's like, that's one of my pet peeves.
Yes.
Honestly, that's one of my pet peeves. I'm just like, okay, but why wouldn't they be just as civilized as humans? Like, what makes you think that a group of people,
Right.
and like, so it's so sad, but it like, all comes back towards like a little bit of race to me.
Yeah.
Like, and it just seems like a different race of people would be less civilized, less technologically inclined, less likely to be masters of enterprise than us because we're superior to everyone. And the likelihood of that when they're stronger, more likely to have resources, it just seems as though it's unlikely that they would be the more backward of the people. And so that's why in the Kingverse, I'm like, no, we're going to give everybody equal opportunity. We're going to go across the board and make them all, as they all grew up together, came up together, they all coexisted, we're going to make the world unified and we're going to make it equal. And the lightheartedness kind of comes from that. Because I'm like, no, we're not going to make them any kind of backwards, like less civilized, I guess, is kind of what ends up happening with the orcs. And I think they tend to get a lot of the stereotypes that come across for the Black community. And that's just unfair because that's not who we are. Like, it's not. So getting that right off the bat, saying that's not who we are, this is who we are. We're just like everybody else.
Right.
We just look a little bit different. So getting that off the bat and saying that and just kind of putting it into place where it's not interracial, it's interspecies.
Right.
And that doesn't matter. Like, nothing matters because at the end of the day, everybody's the same and everybody can fall in love. And it's all about the heart. It's not about what you look like. So that's where I tend to make it. And I think maybe that's the difference. Like, Finley's making it more about the high fantasy. And I'm just like, no, everybody loves everybody. And we should just have one love. And I don't care what you look like. I can fall in love with you, my big, beautiful orc. Like,
Yes.
it's just, it is what it is. And that's where the lightheartedness comes from. So I'm like, no, we're not going to make it about, I can't be with you because you're an orc and you're backwards and you have to take me to a cave, even though that's what he does in book 2. That's not the point.
Yeah.
The point
There's
is...
a reason for it.
There's a reason for it. The point is that, like, we're equal and we can have this cuteness and we can have this banter. And that's just where we are because you're the same as me and we're equal.
Yes. Oh, I love it so much. Okay, so you also have a bit of found family on the orc side, and I think the human side as well, too, of just like them kind of building their clan, and especially when you pull in the ones from Hellscape, or what are Hellplane? I keep calling it Hellscape in my head. Hellplane. Because may as well be hell for how lack of resources they have there.
Yeah.
But they brought lots of gold over, so they're rich here. It's fine.
They're rich.
As one
It's okay.
does, right? I love that little like, haha, there you go. You're one for nothing. And so like just them being able to be like going from this like, all right, we're struggling and we have this very close-knit group of like 3 of us and we're trying to make it work. Or maybe the one was the lone, right? And he was like by himself, didn't have anybody. His entire family had passed away. And then you have the 2 brothers, the first 2.
Yeah.
I was like, are they friends or are they brothers? I don't remember. But the 2 brothers at the beginning for the first 2 books, and then they're kind of just growing this family. And so why was that kind of found family part really important for your male main characters?
So like most of my main male characters, you'll see like they didn't have family really. Tristan and Rutger, because they kind of lost their parents. And I feel as though a lot of people in the world right now feel very isolated.
Yeah.
And I think it's important, especially like I see it a lot in like men, like POC, 100%. They're just kind of on their own. They're trying to like struggle and make their way like in life. And they end up because like they don't have that much support. Like sometimes they don't have like parents who can back them and stuff like that. It's just important to me to show that you can choose people who can support you. Because like I have a great family, honestly. Like my family is my backbone. Like they support me in everything that I do. And they're amazing, but not everybody has that.
Right.
And you don't have to have that be blood necessarily. That can grow from anybody. Like one of my biggest supporters, my like best friend, 100% found family. We just met each other through books and we're found family now. And it's just, that's kind of what ends up happening is the closest people to you, they don't have to be the ones who have your back, ride or die. They don't have to be blood. And I just kind of want that message to go across. And I needed it in my male characters as well as my female characters because they're also joining the clan, even though some of them do have like great families and everything. You also need to see that like even Sozara with her coven, they're not related. They found each other through like having to hide from other people in the world, having to like run and hide. They all have different issues. And they decided we're going to protect each other and we're going to form this bond. And I just wanted people to see that you can have that with a stranger, with a random stranger who'll have your back more than necessarily your family or your chosen partner. You don't have to stay with that. You can go and you can pick the ones you can be with.
Yeah. Oh, so good. I love it. It's so important too, right?
It is, it
And
is.
as someone who, like, has lost both my parents before the age of 30, right? Like,
Oh
there's
god.
so much to that of, like, what does the next, 50-ish years of my life look like without parents? And
Yeah,
who are those people that I can go to for those questions that I have as I get older, right? And
yeah.
yeah, like having those people in your corner, I think are so important. Some of my closest friends, we've never met in real life. It is
Same,
literally just like, you're my
same.
people. And I know that if I am struggling with something or if I need something, I know that I can reach out to you and you will help me in any way that you possibly can. And I would do the
Exactly.
same for you every time, right?
100%. Yeah. And especially like coming out of COVID and you realize, hey, I don't need to be seeing this person every day
Right.
to know that they have me. They have my back 100%. And it might be like a long distance friendship, but hey, it's better than some of the ones I see every day. Like,
Yes. Sometimes I don't want to see them every day. I'm like, I need a break from your drama because I hear about it
yes.
too much.
A little too much. I'm okay. Leave me alone, please.
Stop asking me for the same advice. I told you already. That's very Virgo of me. Like, you asked me for advice. I already told you what, and you didn't do it. Don't ask me
Yeah,
again.
yeah, we're done here.
Uh, so you also add in this fated mates aspect that I think is so wonderful, but I don't think we see it a lot in orc romances. Like, yes, they kind of pick their partner and then, like, that's their partner, and they're very monogamous, right, in a lot of the orc
Yeah,
romances, but we don't really see a lot of, like, the fated mates. And one thing that I thought was really interesting is the kind of single-sidedness that fated mates can tend to have in monster romances where the monster feels the fate, but the human doesn't, right? And we see that a lot, whether it's aliens, like sci-fi, or monsters, whatever. We see a lot of that. But in your third and fourth book with the witches, they feel that because they also have their own like version of a fated mate. And they
yes.
feel that mutual pull, which I think is so cool. So, how did you come up with that? And why was the kind of the fated mate aspect something that you were like, we're adding that in?
Because I want to read it. So I love werewolf romance. And it's like the thing to have a fated mate as a werewolf. And I'm just like, hmm, I would like to be claimed by an orc. Like, I just think it's necessary to be claimed by an orc as a fated mate. And why not? Like, I'm going to put them and I'm going to give them fated mates. And then after the first two books, I was like, you know what? Like, I had my witches already set. And I was just like, you know what? I think it is important. He falls first every single time. He falls harder every single time. And I'm just like, you know what? Let's give them a chance, okay? Let's give them something. My next two guys, like, they've been through rough patches. And I'm like, I need to give them something. Tristan, he's a bossy pants. He can do what he wants to do. It's fine. Roke can love his girl more than anybody else. Becca has it, his heart taken, and then she already wanted an orc. But Zara, I felt like she didn't even want to try. In my
Right.
head, she was like, we can just do stuff. Like, we're fine. I'm okay. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do this to you. You. So it started with her. It started
Okay.
with Zara. And then I was just like, you know, I love this. I love the mutual bond. The mutual bond to me is so precious. I just absolutely love it. So I wrote it for the next two books. And it won't be happening in the fifth book because she's human. But if I could continue this forever, I will. I love the mutual pining. The mutual pining is the best.
Yes. It really is. We had Ash Raven on the episode that went live today from when we're recording. So it'll be a few weeks before your episode goes
Love
live.
Ash Raven.
Ash is so incredible, and their books are just top tier. Love it. But they have a new book coming out in winter, and it's a croc gangster and a dancer, like a curvy dancer with like lots of mutual pining of like he
Oh,
constantly
top
goes to
tier.
see her. She has his phone number and kind of just stares at it sometimes, right? Like,
I love it.
Like, when do I get it? I want it right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna need an advance copy.
Yes. Please, Ash. Thank you. Okay, bye.
If you're listening to this.
Just send them a DM. But yes, the mutual pining, I think, is just there's something so delicious about it. And I think it's just both of the people wanting each other just so much, but also keeping in the like, he definitely always falls harder and faster and all that. It's just
Every single
so
time
good.
my orc will fall first, my orc will fall faster, harder every single time. It's just gonna happen because it's what I want. And there's zero other reason. There's no other logic. I just want
Yes. I think another thing that I love is that you have where the female main characters are like they don't have a lot of money, they have jobs, they're just like kind of broke, and then
yeah.
these orcs come in
Yeah,
and they're
listen,
like,
I was channeling myself, okay? I'm channeling myself into my FMCs. Can you tell? You can tell. I would like to be a sugar baby to a sexy rich orc, okay? Just come find me. Come find me, please.
I love it, but I think it just makes it like so very different from a lot of the different like monster romances that we tend to see, kind of throwing in spins that you might not expect, but are just so fun and exciting. And like you said, that one character who was like, no, like I'm moving to town because I want an orc who's got a brother, who's got a cousin. Like,
Who's got a cousin? Where's the rest of your clan? Why
exactly.
is this a clan of two? This is very stupid.
Y'all need more. Come on. Find more orcs for me. I just love that aspect. So, like, yeah, it's such a fun time to read your
Aw,
books. So,
thank
everybody go
you.
read the books. 100%,
Thank you
please,
so
and
much.
thank you. But you have the fifth one coming out. I'm so
I
excited.
do.
So, what can we expect from that book? So, main characters, some of the tropes, all that.
So it's Pursued by the Orc. It's going to be the fifth book in the series. The main character is one of the three brothers who came from Hellplane. So the three brothers are Enka, whose book we just got, and then the eldest brother is Krusk, and we have him next. Even though I know, I'm sorry, I apologize. I teased Sabla's book in this last one. I'm sorry, Kresge's coming first because he's the eldest, and I think he needs to fall in love. He wants it more than everybody. Like he's like, I'm waiting. Why is my younger brother with a mate and a kid already?
Right.
What am I sitting here doing? So I was just like, he was screaming at me, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna write your book next. So his book will be with a human. It'll be once again. These are always the tropes. Fated mates.
Yep.
He falls first. He falls harder. It's a little bit so there's some miscommunication, which I really have not had in like a lot of my previous books. It's more like they just were dumb. I don't know. But
Idiots to lovers.
they're just idiots in love. But in this one, like there is a bit of a miscommunication because the first person that he talks to, she assumes he's not interested in her. And then he kind of stalks her. I'll be honest. He just kind of follows her around like a lost little puppy because he found her. And he tries to help her where he can. And that's pretty much the story until he can just grind down on her will until she fully falls for him. He's just like, if I followed her around enough, she will fall in love with me.
So, like brothers like brothers.
Yeah. 100%. Like, and they're not gonna tell each other this is a bad idea. They're just like, this is top tier wooing. This is exactly what you should be doing. I swear. Again, one of my beta readers, she's just like, you just love stalking your girls, don't ya? Like, this worries me about you. Like, if you actually get a stalker, are you going to be like, we should fall in love rather than call the police?
I
And I'm like, well,
mean, okay.
dark romance for a reason.
Like, all right. So Evelyn Lee did a post on Threads where she was like, it's for her Shadow Obsession book. There's some stalking in that one. And like he mows her lawn. That's not a euphemism. He mows her lawn. He fills her fridge with food. Like,
I want this stalker. Like, come on, where
I
are you,
mean,
Megan? Where are you? Find me, okay? Just find me. Like, you're just gonna do random chores that I don't wanna do?
I'm a
Come for me.
millennial woman. I am done.
I'm tired all the time. Come on. While I'm writing, you just go and do all my chores. Like, I love this. I just wanna walk into a house that's clean. Like, and just know that my stalker did it.
Right?
That's all I need.
It's fine. Everything's taken care of.
I feel super safe. Like, I don't know where you got a key, babe, but
Right?
I feel super safe.
Exactly. But I feel like yours is like, it's light stalking, right?
Yeah, yeah. You're just like, I'm just gonna follow you around at work at like all of your jobs. I'm gonna find where you work. I'm gonna find your shift, and I will be there. Minor stalking.
Right. It's light.
Nothing arrestable.
I'm so excited for that book. When can we expect it? Maybe if you have an ETA.
I have November 25th as the ETA. I'm trying to stay on schedule. We'll see how that goes. We'll see.
Love it. So exciting. So, if people are like, yes, I need more Sam, please and thank you. I want to read all of these books. Where can they find you, get to know you, maybe do some light virtual stalking?
Virtual stalking. I love it. So I have a website, samking.com, but also all my books are available on Amazon. I am a Kindle Unlimited author, so I am on there. Hit me up with them page reads.
Yes.
And like I'm on TikTok, I'm on Instagram. You can message me anytime. I am not good with my phone, as my entire family and all of my friends can tell you. I'm terrible with my phone, but I will get back to you eventually. I promise.
Awesome. Yes. And I highly recommend that people do read this series. Like, I know I've kind of been raving a little bit. I am serious with my raving. And like when I was coming up with people that I wanted to have on for season 2, you were top of my list because like I'm obsessed with this world that you've created. I love the characters. They are so much fun. Seeing women who are brown and curvy getting loved down by a man who's literally could throw them around like and is like twice their size is just
What?
beautiful. So everybody go check out these books, please.
Aw, thank you so much. You're the best.
Yes, and thank you so much for being on and sharing about your books with everybody. I appreciate you.